Power to SME, as you can see, is founded by Mr. R. Narayan in the year 2012. Mr. Narayan also holds a position of President of FICCI C MSME, a body run by MSME division of FICCI. Mr. Narayan came up with an innovative business model which eliminated the intermediaries in the supply chain of commonly used raw materials from big manufacturers to MSME manufacturers, and thus providing better pricing benefits to the MSME sector. Now, here you can see an ecosystem of Power to SME, from raw material procurement to purchase financing to MRO goods. So Power to SME is a mother brand which undertakes the operations of raw material sourcing and procurement solutions. SME Shops is a B2B portal for maintenance, repair, and operations which are required at the manufacturing plants. This funds is the in-house NBFC, which offers innovative and competitive financial products for raw material purchase financing. And Finance Me, as you can see, ensures seamless approval of working capital loans for SME partners through empaneled financial institutions and NBFCs. So these are the sectors which majorly we touch upon, and the major dealing of Power to SME are mentioned here. Apart from these, there are many others. And these are the industries which we are catering to on a large scale. Now, this is basically, these are the digital capabilities that Power to SME provides for the ease of dealing for our clients. So all in all, Power to SME is a one-stop solution for all the requirements for the manufacturing SMEs. You can see one-stop shop, competitive pricing, customer-centric, online portal. You can track your order and tailor-made finance solutions. Now, these are the investors you can see which we have. These are the accolades which we have won in last complete decade. And this is the social media presence that we are, present everywhere. And now I'm done with the introduction of Power to SME. From here on, I hand over to Dr. Kumar Saab for further proceedings. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Varun. Thank you very much. Hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Visible also.
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much. In fact, this is one of the subjects which has been the most talked about subject over the last 40 years that I am associated with the MSME sector. Financing solutions, MSME loan schemes, funding from banks, credit from banks and financial institutions, NBFCs, needs of the MSME sector, and the gaps between the demand and supply. So these are the issues which are all related to the credit availability, supply, and gaps. And we have been talking for n number of years on this issue. The problem is, while on the one hand, the government is very, government's intention is very clear that we should be able to provide more and more easy credit flow to the MSME sector. The banks are willing to lend. The banks are ready with the availability of funds. They say that they have enough funds. There is no shortage or dearth of funds. But the problem is, on the other side, the demand side, the gap still continues. As per an analysis of the World Bank's IFC, sometime back, I think it's maybe a decade old, but that situation has not changed. There was a gap of almost 25 lakh crore in the country. And over a period of time, when the committees, various committees have assessed, I think the gap has widened. It's not shortened. One reason could be that the economy is growing and the demand for credit also has been growing. The number of MSMEs are also growing. Their needs are also growing. They are growing in terms of their value, production value, sales, exports. So the needs for credit also will go up.
Dr. Kumar, we cannot hear you. Yeah.
So we have lost your voice.
Here
sir, we cannot hear you.
It is not the figures with regard to. So there is something wrong with the internet. I'm sitting in our office only. Power to SME.
Now it is clear. Sina Saab, can you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Again,
internet is a unstable. Is the issues again problem? Let me connect with the mobile because this office network is probably unstable.
Yes. Sir, Mr. Akash Jain from Care Ratings is also here. He has also joined. Welcome, Mr. Jain. Good afternoon. We have Dr. Sinha, Dr. Kumar Saab, and Mr. Ajay Singh with us.
Good to have you, Mr. Jain. Am I
Pleasure.
audible now?
Pleasure, sir. Good to see you. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening. Dr.
Singh sir,
Kumar,
you are indeed or you have joined. नहीं आ रही आवाज? Am I audible?
yeah, Dr. Kumar, you are audible now.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, the problem is it keeps coming. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right.
Yes, you're audible now, sir.
Okay, so I continue here. You tell me whenever there is a break in signal. We will then invite somebody else. Then I will shift to my mobile and then rejoin again. But till now it is okay. Is it audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, again, we cannot hear Dr. Kumar.
Dr. Kumar is joining from his mobile. I think the office internet is not working properly.
yeah, yeah.
He'll be joining in a minute. He's here.
Yeah.
Dr. Kumar? Sir, you are.
Yeah, I have come in now.
Dr. Kumar, please close the other one.
Yeah, I have done it. I have done. So what I was saying is now I am audible, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Much
Yes,
better.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is that the demand and supply gap for availability of credit has been continuing, and the need for credit and the availability of credit. The problem is that we have not been able to really bridge this gap and the need. So I would like to discuss, in fact, today with my panelists as to what are the reasons. While the banks are sitting on funds, they are ready to finance. The government's intention is clear, but the needs of the MSME sector, particularly the smaller ones, the micro enterprises, still is not fully met. There are various schemes which the government of India, in fact, has introduced through the Ministry of MSME for new enterprises, the startups, as we are going to discuss today. For startups, when I say startups, I am not referring to startups which are only recognized as startups by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. We are talking of startups which are new business enterprises, any startup, whether it is recognized or not. So
Right.
the government has introduced the scheme like Mudra. that is up to 10 lakhs rupees for any new business enterprise. There is another scheme called Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program, which again, in fact, provides credit as well as subsidy support for starting a new business enterprise. The project limit, which was earlier 25 lakhs for manufacturing and 10 lakhs for service enterprises, has been increased to 50 lakhs for manufacturing and 20 lakhs for service enterprises. This scheme is very popular in the entire country because here it is not only the bank credit which is made available to the extent of 15 to 25% based on the category of the applicant borrower. So I feel that new entrepreneurs who are going to start their new businesses, they should try to avail this scheme. I think there is not much awareness about this scheme in the country, but this scheme is a very, very useful and very good scheme. In fact, similarly, Mudra scheme where we can get loan up to 10 lakhs rupees. So that scheme, of course, everybody knows now because the government has, made it so popular in the country. I think crores of people are reported to have got this scheme. I understand the average loan under this scheme was only 50,000, 50 to 60,000 rupees, which I feel is much less because 50 to 60,000 rupees में आप नया बिजनेस शुरू नहीं कर सकते. छोटा बहुत छोटा सा कर सकते हैं कॉटेज लेवल पे कुछ टूल्स और इक्विपमेंट्स वगैरह से स्टार्ट करके, बट यू कैन नॉट सेट अप ए मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंटरप्राइज, a reasonably micro enterprise even with that kind of a loan. But nevertheless, 10 lakhs loan available है इसमें. एक स्टैंड अप इंडिया स्कीम है विमेन्स के लिए. Women also can avail a loan from bank under the Stand Up India scheme. Then we talk about subsidies जो कि available हैं government of India से. There are various subsidy schemes from the government. वो टेक्नोलॉजी अपग्रेडेशन के लिए हैं, लीन है, और आपकी मार्केटिंग असिस्टेंस के लिए है, टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए है. पर ये सब्सिडी स्कीम्स बहुत कम लोगों को अवेलेबल हो पाती है. इनफैक्ट जो हमने ट्रेंड देखा है, इट इज नॉट इजी टू अवेल सब्सिडीज फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट सिस्टम. यू हैव टू कंप्लाई विद अ लॉट ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंटेशन एंड पेपर वर्क. And but nevertheless, if you are able to comply with those requirements, the subsidies are available, but they are very marginal subsidies. I would suggest, having been on both sides, from the government also and from the other industry side also, that don't run after the subsidy. If you really want to succeed in business, I would say that you should be standing up and working on your business with your own strengths, instead of depending on small amount of subsidy from the government and running after that and spending too much of time. Because उसमें यही है कि for availing a small amount of subsidy, you have to spend a lot of time, do a lot of paperwork, which digresses your attention. And, instead of doing your work, you are running after the subsidy. Small amounts are available. But nevertheless, अब अगर इंटरेस्ट सबवेंशन मिल रहा है 2% बैंक लोन के ऊपर, तो वो तो अच्छा ही है, वो तो उसको तो लेना चाहिए हमें. उससे हमारी कॉस्ट ऑफ क्रेडिट कम हो जाती है. तो ये कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशंस हैं जो मैं शुरू में सोचा आपको बताऊं. और इसके साथ ही हमारे पास बहुत एक्सपर्ट्स हैं. आज हमारे पास 3 एक्सपर्ट्स अवेलेबल हैं. वी हैव Mr. Akash Jain, who is the Director Care Ratings, and he is available. In fact, he will be able to throw light as to how the continued, problem of the MSMEs, that they are not able to succeed in getting the sanctions from the credit institutions, from banks and NBFCs, that can be taken care of. And of course, what is the role of rating in this? Then we have Dr. Rajendra Sinha, who is the founder of MSME Advisor and an ex-banker from State Bank of India with rich experience. So he will also let us know how the banking sector can be approached. उसका तरीका क्या है कि हम बैंकिंग सेक्टर को कैसे अप्रोच करें कि वो हमारा लोन सैंक्शन हो जाए. Otherwise, it is very difficult to comply with or even understand the documentation and paperwork of the bank. And one has to engage the chartered accountants or other experts or intermediaries to, put up, first of all, preparing the proposal and then talking to the banker without understanding as to how, whether the bank will be able to sanction or not. So Dr. Sinha, I think, will be able to very well explain as to what is the best way that one can really be comfortable in availing the credit from the bank, and what are the salient features which he would like to suggest. What are the important points that he would like to suggest? And then we have a very experienced industrialist as well as very experienced person from the chambers, Mr. Ajay Singh, who is associated with industry for a long time. He himself is a very experienced person. Past, he was with the Indian Industry Association. So he will also let us know as to what is the practical side of availability of credit and subsidies, both by the MSMEs from the system. So to begin with, I would like to invite Mr. Akash Jain, because I understand he was not feeling well. So with our request, probably he has joined. I will request him, in fact, to be brief and tell us as to how the MSMEs can succeed in availing, in getting the sanction and first of all, preparing the proposals, getting the sanction from the bank with least difficulties, and what is the role of rating in this, credit rating in this. So over to you, Mr. Akash Jain. Are you there, Mr. Jain?
Yeah. Good evening.
Okay. Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks, for having me here. Appreciate it. Was a little not well, was continuously traveling, but anyway, never mind. Happy to be here. So, would start with a quick update from the place where I'm coming from, Care Ratings Limited. Most of you know the institution. We are 30 years old as we speak to you today. Uh, Pleasure to introduce CARE, first of all, one of the India's top credit rating agency, and the only homegrown rating agency. That's how I will say. We have established ourselves in April 1993, and by the institutions such as IDBI, Canara Bank, erstwhile UTI, and State Bank of India. So Care Ratings has established itself as strongly in the India's financial landscape, with a strong coverage across segments. Currently, LIC is the largest shareholder amongst other dispersed shareholding. As such, it is a listed, professionally run, and a board-driven company. We have rating subsidiaries outside India also in the form of joint ventures in Mauritius and Nepal. In the Mauritius JV, the African Development Bank is also one of the shareholder. Happy to update all of you that in an industry which is dominated globally by the big three credit rating agencies, S&P, Moody's, and Fitch, it is a proud moment for us to be among the global top 10. We are one of the global top 10 rating agency as we speak to you today, especially when in the context of the three global credit rating agency having their rating subsidiaries in India. Being a completely homegrown rating agency without any foreign parentage, and having carved out a niche for itself in the last 3 decades of operations, Care Ratings perfectly fits into the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision of Government of India. Uh, it is a proud moment for us at CARE as we celebrate our 30th anniversary in April 2023. Few credit rating agencies globally have been able to operations for such a long time. Uh, So this is about us from the place we are coming from. I come from having associated with care from last 10 years now. I look after various business verticals across care and various geographies. Uh, Coming to Dr. Kumar's questions. I mean, what he has thrown on me. I mean, I would first like to uh, take up maybe if I'm allowed to, if it is if there is any opportunity wherein I can show you some quick 2 to 3 slides which will give you a quick understanding maybe how we at care or how we are looking at the growth story for India, and then probably I'll quickly touch what is our role in the entire ecosystem, and also would like to tell you what we can do or how we at care we look at the things as far as the MSME growth is concerned. So is there any opportunity wherein I can share my screen? I mean, can I share that?
Varun, can you help?
Yes, yes. Akash, you have the this thing sharing rights.
Yeah. So it's a disabled. It says share screen is disabled.
Okay, Shivani, can you help here, please?
Yes, I'm okay. Varun, can you try from your end?
If it is a concern, I can probably orate also. It's okay. I mean, that should not be a problem. Do you want me to orate?
Yeah,
Just 1 minute.
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right. See, I was just trying to give you some synopsis, as in how we are looking, the key highlights, how we are looking at care, how we are looking at the.
Akash, sorry to interrupt. You can share now.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is
Yes, yes,
visible. Yeah.
it is visible.
So this is the recent update which we have come up, and this has got.
Yeah, maybe you can take up. I think you can take up the major issues because this is not readable fully.
No,
It's
no,
because of the.
I will orate it, and I will probably explain the key points
Yes.
what I want to throw it up
Okay. Okay.
for all of us. Not
Yes.
all will be of a I'll not cover probably everything, but I'll give you some synopsis. So see, I mean, how at care, I mean, there are a couple of indicators which is proprietary to us and which is something which we track. One of them is the credit ratio, and that actually helps us to determine how the credit asset quality is actually. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
you are
Akash.
audible, but there is
You are
some
audible.
disturbance from some other level. Yeah, please go ahead. I think Akash, you can concentrate basically on issues which concern the MSMEs in availing the credit facilities. How do they best approach MSME banks and NBFCs with the help of care and
Sure,
other
sure. So see, I
activities.
mean, yeah, all right. I got your
Yeah,
point.
please go ahead.
Yeah. See, I mean, quick thing. I'll tell you. I mean, see, at care there are a couple of indicators which we track it at our end and which are proprietary to care. So one of them is the credit ratio. Credit ratio is one of the most important number which we track it since last many years now. So if you look at our credit ratio, what is credit ratio? Credit ratio is precisely the upgrade to downgrade ratio, number of upgrades in the ratings to number of downgrades in the rating. And as the number goes above unity, it means that the number of upgrades are more than the number of downgrades. If you look at our H1 FY 23 credit, it's a 6 months number. The number what we comes up is a 6 months number which we come out with. So if you look at our H1 FY 23 number, it was standing at all-time high at around 3.7. And as we speak today, the H2 FY 23, I mean the second half of financial year 23 number, it stands at around 2.72, which is second highest in the last 5 years. See, I mean the credit quality, I mean if you talk about is precisely improving, and the kind of deleveraging what we have seen in the corporate India also, that has also helped the entire banking system to strengthen their balance sheet as we speak. Talking about MSMEs, talking about MSMEs and how they can avail quality credit. Dr. Kumar has touched upon, the Mudra loan scheme, Mudra loan. So I was just running some statistics around that, and what I understand is roughly around 20.76 lakh crore is number of loans has been disbursed, has been given. This number of loans is a huge number. But again, on the contrary, if you look at the total loan which has been sanctioned is around 37, 38 crores. This update is on December 22. If you look at per ticket size is generally coming at around 55,000 rupees. uh, I mean, I think it's a very good scheme. No second thought about it. But I think it needs a little more, little more upgradation or implementation to say list on it. And I think the ticket sizes needs to be improved. I have seen a lot of 66% of the total loan in the Mudra has been given under Shishu scheme. That's what I understand, and the remaining is under Tarun and Kishore, etc. So probably going forward, I think one needs to grow, and for growth, you need capital. And MSMEs, the biggest problem, I mean, which we have seen across, the historical data, whatever we have, has been access to the capital at the right time. I think with Mudra being one place and schemes like CGT, MSC, etc., I think MSMEs going forward will not face the issue at large as far as the capital is concerned. There are right schemes. Only thing is how we are able to put, the right set of data to various forums. I mean, to various institutions who are helping the MSMEs to get the capital on time. So I believe the point or the major issue here is the data asymmetry. I mean, the form in which the data is being submitted to the various institutions, that has been the issue in the past also. And I believe, if MSMEs can focus more towards how they can actually work on, you know, getting the data at the right place at the right time, probably the TAT will also get reduced. So this is very important, and this I believe we have been talking in most of the forums. Dr. Kumar has been speaking and guiding, mentoring many of the MSMEs. I am seeing him from last 10, 12 years myself, and maybe more before that. I mean, so he has been doing that. He has been veteran in this, so he knows the, I mean, problem. The root cause precisely. And to my understanding, data asymmetry is the one of the major challenge which the various institutions also face. That's the one. And second thing, I would also like to say, at large is, when MSMEs are being assessed by any of the institutions, I mean, they need to be assessed differently. I mean, the barometer or the scale in which the MSMEs are being measured need to be different, because MSMEs are different. MSMEs, as we speak, are the backbone of the country. They contribute a major chunk to the GDP of the country. They contribute a major chunk in the import what the country is doing today. So with all these, what MSMEs are doing for the country, it is our earnest duty, and I'm sure the larger institutions are looking at it and should do more than what they are doing today for MSMEs. And I believe with right set of approach, with right set of people, and with a clear intention, things would transpire better as far as the sector is concerned. Talking about care, how and what we can do. See, I mean, we are doing regular. We at Care, we are doing a lot of education seminars, webinars. We are doing a lot of, we are participating in a lot of forums which are MSME focused. We are trying to guide, educate a lot of MSMEs to to be better, and we try to strengthen them in terms of guiding them about the sector in which they are working and how they can do better than what they are doing today. So all of this sort of thing we are doing it, which is absolutely non-transactional. Talking about ratings for MSMEs, I mean, at present, I mean, at large, if you look at, not much of MSMEs are getting rated. I mean, the number of MSMEs which are actually getting rated are very, very limited. And the only reason behind this is because earlier there used to be SME ratings, which most of the rating agencies were doing it. Today, as we speak, MSME ratings are not really much into, business, and I mean, nobody markets it at large because the subsidy is not there, and I'm sure the MSMEs are not be very, very keen to pay the rating agencies fees, and hence that particular product is only discontinued with most of the rating agency. But again, I mean, even though without that product having there or not being there in the shelf, we at Care, I mean, every quarter, every 6 months, 1 year, we do a lot of events, we do a lot of webinars, we do a lot of forums, we educate them, we help them, we come out with a lot of material which helps MSMEs as a whole, to transform themselves from what they are today, moving to the next level. Very happy, in case if there are anything which Care can do for them. So, I mean, feel free to reach us out, write to us, call us. We'll be more than happy to engage. Thank you.
Thank you, Akash Jayanji. Thank you very much. In fact, very useful inputs. In the interest of time, I think you will continue to be available with us because I have some questions to ask you. But I would like to go to the other panelists now
No,
before,
sure, I'm there, sir. I'm there. I'm there. I'm there.
Okay. So let me invite now Mr. Ajay Singh ji for a brief discussion about the problem. I am holding on to Dr. Rajendra Sinha because he has the solutions. He is from State Bank of India. So naturally, I would like to first understand the problems. And we have discussed some of the problems, maybe some more from Shri Ajay Singh, because who represents the industry. And then we will go to Dr. Sinha. I hope you don't mind, Dr. Sinha.
No,
Waiting maybe some
that's my
time.
pleasure. Yeah, that's
Okay.
pleasure. Yeah.
Okay. So over to you, Ajay Singh ji. Are you there, Singh sir?
Yeah. I'm there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Please come in.
yeah.
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 तो हमारी तो
Uh,
यही समस्या है ना कि जो क्रेडिट की अवेलेबिलिटी है
good.
नहीं, और
जी.
bigger problem is not that the credit is not available. The bigger problem is the banks are and the government
Yeah.
says credit is being provided to the extent that is required. But on the other hand, the MSME sector continues to be struggling. So how do we,
Yeah.
reconcile this situation?
Dr. Kumar, as you know that I have served many MSMEs forum as a joint director, and the deputy director. So usually on every day basis, we interact with more than 100 MSMEs, and our efforts are that we should at least 25 companies we every day which we are interacting should be new one. We want to face challenges and innovation, and you know that this chamber has been only formed for doing innovative business. Innovative business means innovative financing. As a SBI representative is also there, and you are a very learned person whom I learn a lot about MSME, how to facilitate them. There is take the case of of SBI. SBI, I have a very good relation, and our MSMEs are getting finance. But when I reach to the chief managers and ask them what is the position for startups, they have the opinion, अरे यार startups वाले तो बड़े बड़े सपने दिखाते हैं, and how can they have no collateral and all, so how we can finance them? So here is the expert. Here the problem is not with the startups. The problem is with the banks, because they lack expertise in particular areas where they need financing, because innovation is taking every day, and all MSMEs people are learned people, experienced people. They know how to grow up. But the thing is the bank should have a specialized expert in that area who can envision what kind of project they are bringing out. So that is the one area which is lacking. The other part is that you have already spoken about Mudra. So Mudra, Kishore and the Tarun is the two parts. Sisu have already been offered. That Kishore 5 lakhs and Tarun is 10 lakhs. That has not been offered to many of the companies. The third thing which I can suggest is that relates to the awareness programs. Look, one experiment we have done with ICI Bank, that we have done near about 190 events all over India. So marketing of a product and marketing of the event is an entirely different game. So throughout India, we have organized 190. Our expertise is to uh, give them a platform, and there people come and talk about their products. So you know that, and ICI Com is a very successful trade today, Com trade. So our suggestion is these awareness programs should be on two bases. One is the product awareness by the banks or the lending institutions. The other is the event part is to be financed by some expert companies or some expert chambers who have the presence in the field, who know the MSMEs. The third is that there is an MSME innovative scheme that is for incubation, design, and IPR, where 1 crore equity is offered. Here we are working very aggressively, because there are people having a lot of ideas, designs and patents, and they need money for design of the project. The 70% for micro and 60% for the small companies is offered. So this is the area where we are working, and I am very much, there are other means of, look at the finance from the private sector. Private sector is very active in educating people, in educating MSMEs. They are very facilitative in getting to know what kind of innovations and what kind of new things they want to come in, and they guide them in project work. They guide them how to write down the projects. They guide them for all kind of things, because they know that this man has a on ground has a expertise, but he cannot write, he cannot communicate. So that documentation part has to be very much in a facilitative mood to be looked by the banks. Banks are only talking about their products, and the facilitative part and the expertise part is lacking. So my suggestion is bank have are very much active in this area, and the private bank especially, but people always believe in government banks. And so I request with the bank representative also to look on the expertise part, and the other is that on how to guide or educate MSMEs to write down a project.
Yes. No, I think very well said. All the points that you mentioned are very relevant, particularly with regard to the problem of startups not being given their due. A lot of innovations are happening, as you rightly said. The banks are not trained. The banks have no expertise. In fact, to realize that these innovative startups are getting so much of funding from venture funds, and their valuations are rising to billions and billions. They are becoming unicorns, but there is no credit available from the banking system, because they have not been trained, and they have not even formed a scheme. Startup के लिए कोई credit है ही नहीं. Actually, ये जो startups recognized है from the ministry, now almost 90,000, touching 90,000 startups. इनको कोई credit नहीं है availability. There is no scheme for startups for availability, for providing credit. So I think there is a need to, in fact, prepare a special scheme, because especially when the government says that we are providing credit guarantee up to 2 crores. Now they are going to increase it to 5 crores. That 2 crores collateral free credit, the government, the other day I was talking to the secretary, MSME ministry. He said, now we are going to raise it from 2 crores to 5 crores. So 5 crore तक की अगर आप collateral free credit दे रहे हैं, तो startups के पास तो collateral है नहीं. तो सबसे पहले तो startups को ही देनी चाहिए. और खासतौर से वो startups जो already recognized है from the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. They are the innovators. They have the huge potential of growth in the country. They are being funded by the venture funds. तो ये जो gap है, ये मैंने पहले भी जैसे कहा कि this gap, justification, the deserving candidates are there, but still the bankers from bank side, there is a much desire to be done. So I would, with these questions, in fact, I would go to Dr. Rajendra Sinha, who is a very prominent, ex-banker, having been with the State Bank of India for almost 30 plus years, extensive experience dealing with the SME industry and other areas. He is a qualified banker and a doctorate in business administration, international management, PGDM, and a vast experience. Of course, having worked for a long time with State Bank at a senior position, having looked after various verticals in the bank, particularly the MSME sector. So who better than him can really appreciate our concerns, our problems, the MSME's ecosystem, and the need for fast tracking. ये जो एक तरह का बीच में जो एक मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग है, जिसको कहते हैं ना, बैंकर्स फाइनेंस क्यों नहीं करते, वो कहते हैं जी MSMEs are not credit worthy, और MSMEs on the other hand are contributing 40% to manufacturing, 45% to exports, and to the largest number of employment in the country. तो एक तरफ तो वो है जो MSME सेक्टर जिसकी नीड है, जो कि अप्रिशिएट करती है गवर्नमेंट, दूसरी तरफ बैंकर्स के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से वो क्रेडिट वर्दी नहीं है. तो ये गैप को कैसे दूर किया जाए? सिन्हा साहब, ओवर टू यू.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. And I agree with you and other speakers that yes, MSMEs play certainly a crucial role in our country's economy. With what you said that they are second in employment providing next to agriculture, and also significant contribution in GDP and exports. Now, before I go one by one your agenda items and also cover what you expect from me, I would like to say that during the COVID, I brought for the help of MSMEs updates on the various schemes, where they should go, which website they should go, about the registration process, what it will benefit them for getting various incentives. So MSMEadvisor.com portal I started, and my intent was that yes, I let it continue without any commercial looking at it till the celebration of 75 years of India's independence. Now I will put this web portal address, but as I said, it is MSMEadvisor.com. Let me now come to the various items which you have listed for your today's webinar. That what are the opportunity of loans for existing enterprises, subsidy schemes, how to evaluate, and the financial discipline, as also yes, how to evaluate and how to sustain it in the long term. That's very important. So coming for the schemes which are available, and I will talk here, firstly, the ones where collateral is not required. You mentioned about the Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. Yes, where the enhancement of the limit for manufacturing 50 lakhs from 25 and the services 20 lakhs from 20 has been there. And there is a subsidy element also for the general categories and also the special categories. In rural, as much as 35% subsidy element is there. But the point which you made that yes, the focus should not be only on getting the subsidies, but rather, value adding to the business, grow it and look beyond the present, looking at the future. But yes, initial stages, these are certainly helpful. If there is no collateral requirement and subsidy element also, it helps to a certain extent. So it's kind of India schemes for the women entrepreneurs and SC, ST for the greenfield projects, whether manufacturing, services or trading, where minimum 10 lakhs is the loan amount, maximum it is 1 crore. There is no collateral requirement here. And although margin is 10% here, but yes, there are, the linkage is there with the subsidy, it helps out to the borrowers. Then one scheme which you mentioned and is quite popular, this credit guarantee scheme for micro and small enterprises. And just you mentioned that now the limit has been, here the support is that collateral free loan up to rupees 2 crores. But now the hybrid or partial collateral scheme also has come. So a borrower who say is in a position to provide, say he wants to avail 5 crore of a credit facility. So for 5 crore of credit facility, if the collateral coverage is able to provide only up to 3 crores, for the remaining, this scheme can be helpful to that borrower because that the remaining portion will be covered under CGT MSE. So that is what good initiative. It has come recently. It was not there earlier because when this scheme began, it was only up to rupees 1 crore coverage. But now in the hybrid model, up to rupees 5 crore of credit, which is provided by scheduled commercial banks. For the small finance banks, the limit has been kept lower, 2 crores, and for microfinance and RRBs, regional rural banks, it is 50 lakhs. But for scheduled commercial banks who are financing up to rupees 5 crores, so CGT MSE coverage can be rupees 2 crores in the partial model. Then PM Mudra Yojana, all the speakers have talked about it. Yes, it's up to rupees 50,000. There is a nil margin. So I look at this that yes, beyond 50,000 rupees up to rupees 10 lakhs, there is 10% margin. So margin providing would be a challenge. So the availability, say taking loan only up to rupees 50,000. But yes, I look forward that this margin provision not making for a higher amount also should be there. And the limit for the Sishu category should be enhanced from 50,000, could be made 1 lakh rupees, because the value of money also has been, over the years, it has been coming down. This scheme is there for quite a few years. Then there are other schemes. The banks have come out. In fact, I was looking at, there are 30 plus schemes, the time shortage being there. I will not be talking on all of them, but yes, there are schemes which are supportive for the MSMEs, for the providing for their working capital, composite term loan, And there's, say, for example, State Bank has got SME Smart Score, SME Credit Card Scheme, simplified small business loan scheme. And here I would like to mention that now the focus of the bankers, as Dr. Kumar was mentioning, that the formal system of the MSMEs, they are about 10% only, and 90% are still on the informal system, taking at high cost funding from here and there. So helping them out in a way which UK Sinha committee just few years before, it suggested that cash flow method should be encouraged by banks. So the banks are going on that line. They're not focusing on the collateral part, but yes, when the loan amount goes high, they ask for collaterals, and the margin money requirement also goes up. Now, I would suggest that yes, the MSMEs should get registered. The registration government portal is there, it's free of cost, and I can mention there, or on my portal they can go, all the details are mentioned here. Now, also the gestation period of MSME startups, which was earlier 5 years, now it is 7 years. That's a good encouragement. For biotechnology startup, it is 10 years. And Mr. Singh was talking about a certain like a startup India seed fund scheme where the helping out is there, and Department of for promotion of industry and internal trade is the nodal department. There are other schemes where the MSMEs, especially the small medium enterprise, not the micro enterprises, so asset bank loan is there, export packing credit facilities are there, even the lease rental, but yes, that will, I think, for medium enterprises, apart from SME gold loan and other schemes are there. Even for this Rin Suraksha for the CGT MSE, where the fees has to be paid, annual fees, although fees has been reduced recently, and it is about 1%, the loan amount is more than 1 crore. For that also, the funding is there from the banks, schemes are there. Now, let me talk about the subsidy schemes, because that is one of the items of today's webinar agenda. So here, as Dr. Kumar was mentioning, that the subsidy amount is small in various elements of these initiatives, which needs to be looked for encouraging. I concur with his opinion. For example, a subsidy on patent registration, although that's not all of them have the ability to do, but still there are who have certain USPs in their products, in their production process, and here the encouragement is there. 50% of total charge is incurred in filing, and even up to rupees 15 lakhs for invention. And the details for this going on my.msme.gov.in, all the subsidy related, if one just puts MSME and the kind of subsidy one is looking, the details will be there. The lower electricity bills for the ones who have MSME Udyam registration. Even in the first year, the direct tax exemption also is there. Then ISO certification, yes, the amount is a maximum up to rupees 75,000 and 75% of the expenditure. In the market development assistance, which was talked here, it is say about 1.25 lakhs maximum and 75% airfare and 50% is space rental. But for SC, ST and Northeastern region, it is even 100% rent and economic class fare. But yes, this amount with time needs to be looked into. And since we have now revised the definition for micro, small and medium enterprises, and the turnover now goes even up to 250 crores for medium enterprises, and plant and machinery investment 50 crores. These incentives amount should be increased because they are there for some time, and a relook has to be there. Similarly, for barcode registration subsidy, 75% one-time registration, then annual 75% recurring fees for first 3 years. Then a subsidy for credit rating. Our speaker from CARE.
Credit rating तो खत्म हो गई subsidy.
Yeah. So
खत्म हो गई है credit
yeah,
rating.
so there also amount was very less. 40,000 was the amount. So that I think government should come for encouraging micro, upper and small enterprises to come forward. Then 50% subsidy under credit linked capital scheme. Now, as a SME business head, I was looking at how the things were moving because I was in Mumbai Circle, Maharashtra and Goa jurisdiction. One thing was that awareness was not there. One of our speakers, Mr. Singh, talked about that creating awareness that should also be from the bank side. And here, especially, I try to do in this for my operational units because applications were not coming. Even for the loan for upgradation, plant and machinery up to rupees 1 crore, where 15 lakhs is the subsidy. Now, for this online application and tracking system has been put from 2013 onwards, but it has to be through the primary lending institutions. So the banks which are giving loans, the applications has to be given by the borrowers through them only, and they will be eligible for it. It's a substantial amount for them. Now, another important and the most important aspect, Mr. Singh was also telling, and Dr. Kumar also mentioned, that how to reach out for getting loans. Now,
yes. Sir, this is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because people would like to know as to how do we succeed as far as our loan is concerned or loan application is concerned, with the expert advice as to what are the success mantra for any applicant to be successful for getting loan from the bank.
Sure. So here I would like to talk for the existing, but firstly, the ones who are the new ones. And for the new ones, it's important that, bank looks for a business plan should be there. The name is big, business plan. It goes for the big ones also, for the micro, small and medium, but it can be, say, for the micro enterprises, what activities they are going to do, and how, any value proposition they should mention. That's important, that in what way it will be a value addition, if they have some uniqueness, whether expertise, whether products, whether some differentials, and how the key resources they will be managing for it. And then obviously the details of whatever product and service, then even if it is a small setup, which micro enterprises certainly do not have, but they should mention that how this production process, how the marketing, how the resource management, overall it will be, who are the people overseeing it. And if, say, micro enterprises, because they have also, as per new definition, turnover of up to 50 crores and plant and machinery investment 10 crores. So they should give details of this and what is the financial plan as such for the year current year, the year, say 2, 3 years, 4 years ahead, because if there are new ones, the bank would like to understand how they want to move, because they would certainly like to have some composite term loan that is not only working capital, but also certain term loans for certain plant and machinery. Then it could be, 2, 3, 4, whatever pages, depending on the complexity of the MSME. But yes, these elements should be covered. And then the loan proposal, the banks are looking assurance on the repayment side. So how the fund flow, cash flow, they will be managing it so that the installments periodically that is paid off, interest applied is paid off. That's important. And obviously, the credit report is important because bank does not want to onboard with a past and not a good credit track record. So the credit track record, obviously, the personal financial statement one should provide, and the future cash flow, the revenue projections, how the fund flow will move, and how the profitability will be there in this current year and the coming 1 to 3 years. And should have the thorough understanding. And if the technical know-how is there, certainly.
Are you there with us? Dr. Sinha, I think disconnect हो गए. Varun, am I audible?
Sir, you're audible, sir. I think Dr. Sinha got disconnected because of the internet.
No problem. When he joins back, we will take him again. Meanwhile, since Mr. Akash Jan has to leave, I was going to ask him maybe 1 or 2 small questions.
Please.
Akash, you are there? Hello?
Yes, I'm there.
Mr. Jan, yes. No, 1 or 2 small questions as to how MSMEs will benefit from the credit rating. That is one question. And second thing is, what is the fee that they have to pay? I mean, if there is any approximate fee that you can suggest.
So, see, I mean, couple of things. How MSMEs can get benefited through ratings. Any sort of report or any sort of input coming from someone who is very reliable, who understand the subject matter, and come up with any sort of inputs about the business, can certainly help any MSMEs to work on what needs to be done to improve further. That is the one point where MSMEs can improve. I mean, the whatever the so let's say if we have given a rating of triple B to any of the MSME clients, so they can always have that trigger which can help them how they can move to the next level rating, which is triple B plus or A minus or E. So that trigger is mentioned in the press releases, whichever we do for the rating rationale precisely. So they can work upon how to be better than what they are today. This year they are at triple B. Next year, if they want to be triple B plus, what are the key points where they need to work, both on the financial parameters and non-financial parameters. That's the one thing. Second thing, as I mentioned, the data asymmetry is a big concern. I mean, for the sector as a whole, then there is high dependency also, as we see, in third-party consultants, etc. Uh, when it comes to the MSME, so it will help them. The rating will help them to breach the gap of data asymmetry. I mean, precisely to submit the data in the form the various institution expects or wants. So these are the two very important points, I believe, which can help MSMEs post trading. Uh, the cost part, what you said. So see, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, we are not doing any SME ratings, which we were doing from the SME scale of 1 to 8. Currently, we are not doing it at large. But what are the other ratings which we are doing, the bank loan ratings for MSMEs, etc. So for say for a rating for a loan up to say 10 crores rupees debt, the fee would be roughly around 5 to 10 bips, ranging between 5 to 10 bips.
Okay. So if you can share your mobile number also on the chat, it will be better because then people can really reach out to you for any help they need with regard to the rating. So thank you very much. I think um, uh, you have been kind enough, in fact, to join in spite of your maybe not
No,
very
no,
good
no,
health.
perfectly okay,
There was
Dr.
some problem. Yeah.
Perfectly okay. Perfectly okay.
So let me go back to now Mr. Ajay Singh ji. Is there?
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Meanwhile, I mean, I would like to excuse myself now. I would request you if you can allow me to move out of this
Please.
event.
Yeah, sure, sure. Please. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Akash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let me go back to Mr. Ajay Singh. Just a final
Yeah.
question from him before
Yeah.
Dr. Sinha joins back. सिंह साहब ये बताइए कि प्रैक्टिकल टर्म्स में एमएसएमई को पर्टिकुलरली न्यू एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को किस तरह से बैंक को अप्रोच करना चाहिए, क्या मेजर एरियाज हैं जिस पे उन्हें ध्यान देना चाहिए?
So are you my voice is audible? Hello.
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
So
please
the
go
basic
ahead.
thing-
What
yeah,
you are
yeah.
audible.
The basic thing is that what we educate to our members or the members outside our portfolio is that you should be basic 6, 7 documents you should have always. Like your KYC is complete, GST is there. But the problem is that for GST, the 20 lakhs, GST people avoid up to 20 lakhs. They say कि GST है तो अभी 20 लाख में GST की क्या जरूरत है? So here is the one hurdle by the banks कि GST चाहिए. अच्छा फिर KYC है ना, other documents, what is the business plan, how to make it, and what is the financial viability of the project, and who are the experts mentor with you. If there is some expert mentor or the qualified people, because MSME lacks the qualified people because they are not able to finance such a big salary for them. So that is so there is a flexi time approach which we have suggested to them. There are many experts who are having already engaged in their work, and but they can lend on a very economical cost their expertise to these MSMEs. So we have hired like in steel sector, president of JSW, and like that, and Tata Steel. So they are helping out them to first frame out the what kind of innovation they are doing in the steel sector. Suppose they are into export of utensil business. So how to approach to the bank, and the bank has to take them at a very facilitative mood. That is the big thing, and proactive way. Because now if they say they have no collateral or what you call it, that who will be, I am not envisioning anything which is new and which can be scalable. Look, I am giving an example, Dr. Kumar. When there is a Indo-American Foundation, Padap Capital. So they give loan to they give assistance, not assistance, but they take over they as a parents, as a guidance to the IT companies, and with rigorous after rigorous what you call interview of 2-3 days session, and suppose they take up, they will be making them in 3 years unicorn. But that is a very good session which they have, because they have an expert from KPMG and other having experience of more than 30-50 years. So they say they just watch the scalability of the project and the innovators design of the projects, and they have taken over. I have just 3 or 4 companies we have sanctioned to them, and our target this year is for 25 companies. So they have expertise and they have everything at their disposal to just see what is the unique innovation they are bringing out into one sector. Take the example of steel sector. There is a raw material import by many of the companies here in the NCR part also. But suppose they are bringing out 10 trucks of loads, 20 fit tons raw steel from China, and after 4 or 5 tons, trucks, the other are spurious products. So their margins, in addition, value addition, their margins goes up. So they have given a training of 15 days. This JSW Steel has given a 15 days training to these companies, and in that they got to know that how to check these spurious products from China and other places. So now they are able to value add that product and in an economical way. So there is a lot of challenge and specialization in the MSMEs also, because they have to compete with the corporate, and corporate are not enabling, creating enabling platform for the MSMEs. So my only suggestion to banks, even the private banks are more proactive than government banks in the sector, because they have adopted some specialized experts also in agribusiness, in steel sector, in pharma sector. So they are doing fairly well in disbursing loan also. And so that is my suggestion one, you have to, if they are going to approach through our way, the bank should come with some kind of expertise in these all areas, because otherwise it is the only documentation process, and things will not move. As you have rightly said, that demand is growing and gap is growing. It is exactly the gap is growing.
Actually, we met the Niti Aayog also just a few days back, maybe a couple of
Right,
days
sir.
back, and we raised these issues that the problem of credit availability from banks, whatever the government may say, whatever RBI is always coming out that there is a credit growth. Last
Yeah.
report also I saw that they say that there is a credit growth of more than 10%. And
Yes.
but the problem is on ground, when you see people are struggling. They say that they are not getting the credit. Same is the case with Credit Guarantee Fund Trust. You mentioned
Yes.
about, I think Dr. Sinha mentioned about the hybrid CGTMSE. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
hybrid CGTMSE is more problematic. पहले कम से कम ये था कि प्योर CGTMSE में आपको कोलेट्रल लेनी ही नहीं है, आपको गारंटी
Yes,
देनी
sir.
है सिर्फ
Yeah.
2 करोड़ तक।
जी।
अब हाइब्रिड में क्या है, अब उनके लिए एक रास्ता खुल गया कि अब वो कोलेट्रल भी लेंगे आपसे। वो ये कहना कि आपके पास है कि नहीं है वो पूछेंगे, अगर होगी तो लेंगे, अदरवाइज ना उनके लिए ऑप्शन है बैंक के लिए कि अब आपको कोलेट्रल देनी है। अब तो हाइब्रिड अवेलेबल है, आपको गारंटी भी देंगे, हाइट होता जा रहा है। और इसकी वजह से जो ये गैप है, ये हमने पहले भी बोला कि दिस गैप कंटिन्यूज, and more we try to resolve the problems by bringing out new procedure systems, there is more resistance or reservations from the banking side and the financing side. So the situation remains the same. So thank you, Ajay Singh ji. I think we go back to Dr. Sinha in case he is available for a last question. Looking at the time, and we have to take the questions also. I think there are good questions as I was seeing some of the good observations and questions which have come. Dr. Sinha?
Dr. Kumar, just sorry,
if you can conclude, if you were giving some suggestions. Please give you.
Just 2 points I would like to add here. I am audible, Dr. Kumar?
Yes, you are audible. Yes, you are audible.
That for banks, the capacity building, that is the trained officials looking after, say, the credit portfolio, where, say, any MSME applicant comes over. So that knowledge, adequate knowledge, and this empathically, helping out. This is one requirement. And for the MSME side, I would suggest that providing the banks the realistic financial projections, because based on that appraisal is done, and cooperating as they are moving from micro to small to medium enterprises, cooperating the banks for the compliance of terms and conditions of sanction, and remaining helpful in verification whenever they come for stocks, and keeping banks update of whatever the developments are taking internally, or whatever the challenges they are foreseeing, so that timely help can be given to them. This I have to share. To this extent, and if any
No.
specific question, then I will.
Yes, yes. I think there are a host of questions. We will take the questions now one by one. Varun, Shivani, both of you, if you can read one by one. Varun, can you
Yes.
take up the questions?
Yes. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah, please. I can hear you first.
Yes. So we have one question here, sir, from Mr. Sudhir Gandotra. He's requesting the experts to get down to the ground, listen to MSME to understand the real issues, and if they are not aware of it and they are really interested to do the work and resolve them. Otherwise, whatever they are talking here has been heard number of times and becomes a waste of time. We have to call a spade and get down to the things. So I
So
think
I can understand the frustration. In fact, that is what we also share. We have been talking the same thing, in fact, again and again. I started with the same observation that for 40 years, we are talking about the credit issues, the problems. And somehow or the other, we are trying to resolve them by taking up with the government. We can only request the government. We met the revenue secretary, we met the government, in fact, and Niti Aayog also. We have given them in writing as to the problem is there is multifarious agencies, in fact, who are involved. So some way or the other, it is not that it is not happening. Some way or the other, one by one, things are happening. But the only thing is pace of implementation is very slow. But I can understand your frustration. Next.
yes. So someone from Podrones Logistics has mentioned that all the speakers are correct and are making good points, but they need practical advice as what can help them get started and using even one of these schemes in the next few days. So what do you have to say about
No,
this?
the same question I asked, in fact, Dr. Sinha, that we know the schemes. The only thing is, how do we approach the banks so that we get successful? So he gave some of the suggestions. I will request Dr. Sinha to share his mobile number also. And individually, if somebody wants to contact him to get more, advice, they are welcome, in fact, to do that. Dr. Sinha, can you share your mobile number in the chat? Yes, next, Varun.
Yeah, sure.
So under again another question by Mr. Sudhir. This is more of a comment, which is under CGT SME. No collateral is needed, and it is insured with the premium being paid by a loan taker. Still, they do not care for it. I'm aware that CGT SME targets are fulfilled by giving these loans to larger companies, converting some of their loans under the scheme and thus fulfilling the target conditions. Whereas the actual MSMEs remain looking forward to hearing about their applications on the loans.
Actually, well, I would not subscribe to this view because the maximum limit that is covered under the CGTMSE is only 2 crore. तो उससे ज्यादा तो वो लोन दे नहीं सकते, ना ही बुक्स में वो कंट्रोल दिखा सकते हैं. अब ये भी बड़ा मुश्किल है कि it is not possible that they give 100 crore, 50 crore to somebody and then try to split it. So that is not possible because it's a government organization. They will not do all these changes. But I can understand that they are reluctant. I mean, it is not CGTMSE who offers the guarantee. It is the banks, in fact. The banks have to cover their loans under the CGTMSE. CGTMSE को कोई problem नहीं है. Banks उसको report करते हैं, वो guarantee दे देते हैं. Automatically cover हो जाती है वो. ऐसा भी नहीं कि one by one उनको लेनी पड़ती है. It is the banks who are reluctant. They ask for collateral and they don't depend on the CGTMSE. In most of the cases, wherever we have received the feedback, they say the banks don't go for CGTMSE. They ask for collateral. और उसके बगैर वो कहते हैं नहीं CGTMSE में हमें मिलता नहीं. So the problem lies at the doors of the banks. CGTMSE will not do all these changes कि वो बड़े लोन देके और छोटे में कंट्रोल करें. Yes, next.
Sir, another query we have is, can you provide the name and contact information of Indo-American agency that is mentioned?
I think Mr. Ajay Singh had mentioned. अजय
Yeah,
सिंह जी,
yeah.
आप उसका अगर
Yes,
contact
sir, I'm
details
also
दे
director to Indo-Latin American Chamber of Commerce.
दें। Okay.
So this year we are hosting two major events. One is that our delegation in July of 25 companies from 6 fields. I have discussed in the morning with Dr. Kumar also. So that will be major areas are pharma and home furnishing and all.
Okay.
Our target is that every year 50 to 100 companies at least should get some minimum export order of 5 crores.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
last year we have succeeded in giving 42 companies this target. Now this year we have increased our 200. So that is July one. The same number anybody can approach, which I have shared in the chat. The other is that 40 members, lawmakers and financial experts from US will be coming to India and suggesting Indian companies to invest and get many tax rebates and other things, technology benefits. So these events can be shared. Even you call me on my
Excellent.
given mobile number.
I think excellent information. If you have shared your mobile, Singh Saab, and people can note down, anybody who
Yes,
is
sir.
interested can get in touch with Mr.
My
Ajay
pleasure,
Singh.
sir.
Okay.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
So next
Right.
question.
Yes, sir. One question we have from Mr. Ankur Agarwal. He is asking, is SIDBI Kanpur Lucknow better for collateral free loans up to 1 CR for cold storage than CGT SME?
I mean, it is basically SIDBI's scheme. So SIDBI has to give the loan, and cover it under the CGT MSC, either SIDBI or bank. They have to, if you apply to them, they should consider it. ये नहीं मुझे मालूम है कि वो कोल्ड स्टोरेज के लिए सिडबी करता है या नहीं करता है. That you can check with the SIDBI branch, but banks in any case are doing. Banks तो कर रहे हैं कोल्ड स्टोरेज के लिए. आप अप्लाई कर दीजिए CGT MSC में. Next.
That's all, sir. That's all the questions we have.
So I think we come to the close of this. It was an interesting session, but as I started in the beginning itself, that whenever we start discussing about the credit flow, I mean, it's a very strange situation कि हम क्या कहें. Credit flow में हमेशा कमियां है. और क्रेडिट फ्लो को हम 40 साल से डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, कभी पूरा नहीं हुआ वो. आज तक हमें सेटिस्फेक्शन नहीं मिला. हम भी कई कमेटीज के मेंबर रह चुके हैं और हर कमेटी की रिपोर्ट में यही लिखते हैं कि इतना गैप है, ये प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, ये उसके सॉल्यूशंस हैं. और फिर गवर्नमेंट में वो जाता है, फिर आरबीआई में जाता है, फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री में जाता है. कुछ एक्शन होते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं होता है, पर वो जो एक माइंड सेट है ना बैंकों का, वो माइंड सेट इतना कंजर्वेटिव है कि वो बगैर कोलेटरल और बगैर सिक्योरिटी के, शायद उनके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर आप देखते हैं, वो कहते हैं कि भाई अल्टीमेटली इट इज आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. इफ वी फाइनेंस ए रॉन्ग केस, if you are deserving, if you are merit oriented, you should be able to send us all the documents and justify that you are credit worthy. And in case credit rating is required, you should be able to get us the credit rating. Give us all the documents which are needed by us. So if you do that, they are sympathetic. It is not that they want to reject all the cases, but I can very well appreciate that they are conservative. They will only, sanction any loan or provide any credit facility only when they are doubly sure and satisfied and they complete all the requirements. And all this becomes so frustrating कि लोग फिर वही consultants को hire करेंगे, फिर वो intermediaries के पास जाएंगे, और फिर naturally the help of experts like chartered accountants for preparing the proposals and documentation. So all that takes away a lot of time. So I can understand this dilemma, but we continue our efforts, and that is what the best we can do with the government and other authorities. And I'm sure that with the changing technology and improving the ecosystem like cash flow financing, as Mr. Ajay Singh mentioned, cash flow financing is one of the finest examples that is coming. Account aggregators का जो model आया है, उसके अंदर it will become very easy, in fact, for everybody to avail the loan. एक बैंक से दूसरे बैंक में शिफ्ट करना या दूसरे बैंक से तीसरे बैंक में डॉक्यूमेंट्स देना, ये बहुत आसान हो जाएगा टेक्नोलॉजी की हेल्प से. तो hopefully it will improve, things will improve, but till such time we keep our fingers crossed. So thank you very much, and we come to the close of this. Varun, over to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very
Kumar.
much. Yeah, and I'm putting my mobile number, so you're welcome, anybody, to talk me, because I'm not looking from my portal, especially I have thought for something to give to the society. So that way I will do.
So thank you, Sinha Saab. Thank you very much for your kind presence and very valuable inputs. Thank you, Ajay Singh ji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You
Thank you.
have been a very big support. In fact, last moment पे आपको हमने request किया and you agreed very kindly. Thank you. And Varun, thank
Thank
you,
you.
and Shivani, all of you, in fact, for
Thank you.
hosting this
Thank you to all
program.
participants also.
Yeah, thanks to participants. Varun, anything that you want to say?
Just wanted to share with everyone that we have a daily newsletter, SME Khabar, that brings you the comprehensive SME news, articles, blogs, infographics that you need to know to run your business efficiently. So we have the link pasted in the chat box. You can go and subscribe there. And also, we all request you to please share your feedback for this session, what all you need us to bring more, or what all things we can improve to give you more information and create better awareness. So I thank you, Dr. Kumar, for
Thank you.
hosting this wonderful session. And thank you, participants. Thank you, Mr. Ajay, and thank you, Sinha Saab. Thank you. It was really lovely having you.
Thank
We
you
shall
to everybody.
close it now. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, sir.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you very
Sinha
much.
sahab.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank
Thank you.
Thank you.